Dating advice for women. Bad first date bail plan. Your first thought flies in the face of dating advice for women. Instead, you imagine how nice it must be for two mature singles to get together and explore the possibility of a new romance blossoming or even finding the last love of my life. That could be your first mistake. When we agree to a first date, we are smitten by the thought of meeting that special someone before we are smitten with the person we are about to date. Our desire and hopes can be so strong, every first date turns us into an eternal optimist. It's great to have a positive outlook, but it's just not practical in this new age of dating. Now, before you call me the senior dating version of the Grinch who stole Christmas, there's an old expression that is as true at our age as it was when we were teenage dating machines. Before we meet our Prince Charming, we may have to kiss a few frogs along the way. Unless you were fortunate enough to marry your high school sweetheart. Both guys and gals alike had plenty of first dates before finally finding that someone special. What makes you think that dating over 50 is going to be any different? The one thing that is different and working in our favor as we once again play the dating game is our maturity due to life experience. The fact that we have been there, done that is sure to be helpful this go around. But with a more prepared and more mature approach to dating in our 50s and beyond, we can better handle the difficult aspects of first dates. Chances are you have a date from hell story from way back when that you're not particularly interested in repeating this time around. One thing is certain. There's a chance a first date isn't going to go very well. So what can you do at the very moment on a first date that you realize that this person is not for you and there isn't going to be a second date? You can do one of two things. 1. Nothing. You can put up with an unpleasant evening and pretend to be having a good time, all the while plotting how you are going to gently inform your date that the two of you are one and done. Most people endure a date disaster, but what if you really feel uncomfortable or even sense you may be in harm's way? 2. Have a game plan ahead of time. It's perfectly fine to go on a first date expecting it to go well, but also be prepared for the worst-case scenario, which should include an exit plan. Ageless dating advice. Just when you thought you had outgrown Cosmopolitan magazine, some topics, like dating, proved to be ageless. Cosmopolitan's online edition reveals some clever and even devious date escape plans for its younger audience that could work just as well for senior daters. The exciting moment arrives and you exchange nice to meet you hugs. However, it doesn't take long for your date to start going downhill. If you begin to feel uncomfortable or maybe even unsafe, how do you bail sooner rather than later without causing a scene or perhaps placing yourself in danger? Here are some helpful tips for both senior males and females to safely execute a date escape. 1. Seek safety in public. Never meet a stranger in a secluded place. Make your first date somewhere in public so that if something goes wrong, your date is less likely to cause a scene because of the potential witnesses. 2. Share date plans. Always share your date plans with a friend or family member, especially when and where the date will take place. At the end of the evening, let your contact know you are home safe and sound. 3. Carry a cell phone. It may be polite to turn your cell phone off during a date, but don't do it. If necessary, as you will find out, a cell phone will be your instrument of escape should the need arise. Make sure at least one person who knows you are on a date has your cell number, and don't forget to make sure your phone is fully charged before a date. 4. Arrange a date escape teammate. Ask a friend or family member to be on standby for an emergency phone call from you during your date. If a call to your contact isn't necessary, call later to thank him or her for being your safety net. 5. Create an emergency. In advance of your date, plan an emergency situation with your safety teammate that would require you to abandon the date immediately. Make it urgent, such as one of your children being hurt in an auto accident. You can feel bad about the lie later. 6. Use the washroom trick. If you feel you need to bail on your date sooner rather than later, calmly excuse yourself to go to the restroom. Once alone, Call your safety teammate and ask him or her to call you back in 5 minutes to notify you of the emergency that you crafted. As you listen on the phone, state the emergency out loud so your date is informed as you were informed. 7. Apologize and leave. Even the biggest jerk would never try to talk you into staying under such circumstances. But don't give him or her a chance to debate or even question you about your emergency. Instead, grab your jacket, say I'm sorry, I have to leave right now. Thank you for understanding. Don't volunteer any other information or even look back. Is this dishonest? Yes, it is. For your protection. Is it paranoid? Perhaps. But better safe than sorry. Don't you think? Is it extreme? Not if you think you can't tell him or her on the spot that you are not enjoying the date. You wish it to end promptly and there won't be another get-together. In the days that follow a date disaster, if you haven't provided your contact information, it's much easier to ignore emails or let him or her down gently with an email. Is this more cowardly than a rejection delivered personally? That may be so, but if a first date isn't going to become a second date, it's better to put your safety at the top of the list. The reason that dating advice for women is needed before a first date is that we don't have time to waste. Most first date failures can be handled respectfully between two mature adults. But if a first date is going badly and you feel the need to bail, a pre-planned escape strategy is your dating safety net. For more great 50+ dating information, visit the link below this video.